Hey guys, this is your friendly neighborhood software engineer Gaurav, and welcome to yet another episode in the software engineering series. And today we will be discussing about a full stack engineer. Well, starting with who is a full stack engineer, what do they do, and how to become one. So, without wasting any time, let's begin. Who is a full stack engineer? Well, if we talk about old school, then a full stack engineer is someone who kind of works on the HTML front end and has decent knowledge about the back end as well. In fact, not only knowledge, they work on the back end as well. If we see the latest trend, and according to the latest trend, the definition of a full stack engineer is someone who has mastered at least one front-end framework, be it React, Angular, or any other front-end framework. Apart from that, they have a lot of experience in developing web backends as well. And by web backends, I mean they have knowledge about microservices, they have knowledge about SQL databases, non-SQL databases, and the regular server stuff, And the third, which is the most important thing, I guess, which is the DevOps. So DevOps is everything kind of like non-engineering around release management, deployment, builds, and basically everything in the development process, which is kind of non-engineering. It kind of falls in this DevOps category. Yeah, that's all basically. It's a pretty broad definition, I know, but that's what a full stack engineer looks like. Okay, now let's talk about what does a full stack engineer do. So basically, full stack engineer handles anything and everything that is thrown at them. Okay, be developing front end for a website, or design backend services for a mobile app, or building a mobile web app. Who knows? If you are a full stack engineer, or if you want to become one, you are expected to work on all of these and don't ask any questions. Not really, but yeah. So these days, mostly on the server side, generally full stack engineers who have knowledge about React, which means that they have decent knowledge about Node.js, which in turn means that they can easily get their hands on the Node.js Express server. Apart from that, a lot of Java developers, they have a lot of experience in Spring Boot and some other related server technologies or server frameworks. And as far as the DevOps is concerned, it requires kind of a decent experience with the particular tool that you're using. It may be Google Cloud or Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure for all your service deployments, your databases, and whatnot. One thing that is kind of underestimated, I feel, is a PubSub framework, basically a publisher-subscriber kind of framework. So so nowadays it's very hard to imagine a real-time system without having any kind of PubSub mechanism or any kind of PubSub framework within the servers. This is something that enables various servers to communicate in a real-time fashion. Not only servers, it also enables your app to receive like multiple notifications or multiple pings from the server and the other way around. To name a few, we have Kafka, and interestingly, some people also use Firebase real-time database as their PubSub mechanism. Well, I guess it works well for a few 100,000 users. I'm not sure how well does it scale beyond that. Okay, let's come to the third question: how to become one? Well, I would say there are some very high-level guidelines that I can give you. Starting with, I would say that never say no to anything that is thrown at you, be it in your college for a new project, or be it in your current organization. Whenever something new comes up, just take it up, and rest assured things will go well eventually. In the beginning, you might take some time to get a hold on the tech, but eventually things will be very smooth. Don't be finicky about a particular domain. Let's say you are finicky about doing Android app development, and that too native. And Android app development is changing at a very rapid pace. We used to do plain old Java, then we had architecture components, then we had Kotlin, now we have Jetpack Compose and whatnot. So change is the only constant. So the third suggestion would be, whatever you are working on, make sure that you have extensive knowledge of that particular tech framework or whatever. And the only way to do that is getting a good book that covers a lot of aspects of it. I remember the days when I was doing React and I used to watch a lot of video lectures, and I realized that video lectures cover the content which is enough for me to do the job, but if anything tricky comes up, I used to totally derail. I don't know. So, and there was a change when I read this small book about React. I forgot the author's name. And the book talked about a lot of intricacies in React, the virtual DOM diffing, how the components are represented, what is the significance of a key for every element, pure components, normal components, a lot of other stuff. And now I feel so good about it that only because I read that book, I had a very clear understanding of how React works. And a lot of new frameworks these days, be it Flutter, Jetpack Compose, Swift UI in iOS, they are also going the React way, basically doing some kind of UI diffing and having this declarative way of doing UI. All of those concepts which I learned in React are in some form applicable to these new UI frameworks as well. So read books, have extensive knowledge of whatever you're doing. Fourth suggestion that I make here is always try to have a side hustle and make sure that the tech that you are using for that side hustle is totally opposite to what you are doing in your regular day job. So that will ensure that your horizons are expanding. Let's say you're working on front end in your day job. Make sure you start a side hustle with a friend of yours and try to pick up the backend side of things. And that is how you will get the entire picture of the software development. Well, fifth suggestion would be, so if you're working in a big company and you work for around an year in the same team, working on the same technology, and now you feel you have decent knowledge about that particular tech, then, and you're comfortable, it might be time to switch to some other team, and which is working on an entirely different tech stack. Again, just to expand your horizons. And the last but not the least suggestion that I would like to make is, if you're very comfortable in your job, it's been around 2 to 3 years, maybe join a startup. As per my experience with startups, startups give you a wholesome view of the entire software development process. Mostly in startups, because they are resource crunched, you are the one who is working on a lot of things and mostly the entire stack. That gives you a pretty nice idea of how things are working. So if you follow these 6 suggestions, I think you will be a good full stack, not full stack, actually a stackless engineer. And by stackless, I mean stack doesn't matter to you, as in tech doesn't matter to you. Your fundamentals are very clear. You have prior experience with a lot of different kinds of technology. And even if a new technology comes up, your mind is already geared up to onboard on that particular tech pretty easily and in a pretty quick way. So apart from this, all of this full stack engineer thing, there is one tangential thing as well, which I would call as mobile development. Now, mobile development can be like Android native, iOS native. These days we have Flutter as well. So in these days, it's very difficult to like be a full stack engineer and have a decent experience with any of these mobile development technologies as well. Because so leaving Flutter aside, because Flutter in practice is still similar to React. If you talk about the native Android and native iOS, there are a lot of intricacies around those particular software areas, which are very hard to grasp in the first go. So being a good Android and iOS engineer, it needs a certain kind of long-term experience with both of these technologies. If you are an Android developer or if you want to become one, trust me, even after 2-3 years of doing Android, you would feel you know nothing. I mean, you'll have super good debugging skills when compared to the newcomers, but still. Okay guys, I guess that's about it, and I hope you like the video. Do give it a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it keeps the motivation on, you know. If you're thinking about the pros and cons of being a full stack engineer in 2020, that I will let you know in next video, maybe next video or in some future video. Yeah, till then, bye bye.